I'm Joe, and welcome to Canada, eh? Here's the top 5 quick facts about Canada. Canada, they don't like to pronounce it as Canada, even though that's the proper pronunciation, 1. 2, there's actually 2 types of Canadians. The first type is the normal Canadian, and the second type is the French Canadian, and you will only find those in the farthest corners of Toronto. The third fact that I've got for you that's real quick is that they don't call their Native Americans Native Americans. They actually call them the First Nations peoples. And you can Google that if you like. The fourth big fact about Canada is that they all actually talk just like those 2 guys from South Park. Like their heads split halfway and then the top half just moves while they talk. I know this from personal experience. The only way to get rid of that physical deformity is to have them to move out of Canada. So if you see a Canadian in the streets of San Antonio or something like that, they won't have that physical deformity anymore because they've moved away from Canada. And then the 5th fact is that, like most of the developed world, they're bastards and they use the metric system. And those are the 5 big facts about Canada. You may not know this about Canada, but it actually has a very ancient history, going all the way back to when the Meese first arrived. They didn't cross the Bering Strait so much as swam across the Atlantic trying to get away from the Vikings. They hit the North American coast up there in Canada, and they're in Canada. And by the way, if you don't know what Meese are, they actually are the ancestors to the modern day moose. The biggest difference, however, is that they were actually sentient beings. They had wings, could fly with those wings, and they had developed a religion that was based around consuming maple syrup. Meese really pissed off the Native Americans when they first arrived, because, you know, they'd partake in their religious ceremonies and then go rampaging through a tribe. Ends up turning into this massive war, devastated both sides, and set up the French and Indian War quite well, actually. One thing further that I would like to talk about Canada, or talk about regarding Canada, is actually the musical talent. You would think Canada, considering how dry it is up in the frozen north, the tundra filled with wolves, bear, and the remnants of Meese, they actually have quite beautiful music. And the first person who really did this and caught my attention was Celine Dion. Celine Dion is freaking amazing, but I was completely shocked and surprised when I found someone from Canada that had more talent than her. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about Senior Justin Bieber. And that's been my geography. Visit us next week when we go to Uruguay.
You know you love me.
Canada is America's hat. Visit us next week when we go to Uruguay. Okay, I haven't seen anyone turning. I'm not dead. Woo!